Welcome to the Wisconsin Music Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Wisconsin Music Podcast, a show dedicated to amplifying the diverse and vibrant music scene in Wisconsin. I'm your host, Zach Fell, and today we have a fantastic episode lineup for you. We're thrilled to welcome BobCat, an awe-inspiring one-man band who's currently captivating audiences across the continental U.S. on his epic 2-year tour. BobCat is not just a musician, he's a multifaceted artist whose performances blend rock and roll, comedic antics, and instrumental renditions of popular covers. His shows are an electrifying mix of rockabilly, punk rock, garage rock, power pop, psychobilly, and indie rock, bringing a unique and authentic rock and roll experience to audiences everywhere. BobCat's musical style channels the spirits of legends like the Meteors, Coffin Cats, Goddamn Gallows, Reverend Horton Heat, and the Black Keys. His ability to deliver high-energy performances while maintaining a humorous and engaging stage presence sets him apart as a true original in the music industry. For those of you who are new to the Wisconsin Music Podcast, we are dedicated to showcasing the incredible talent of Wisconsin-based musicians and the thrilling local music community. Our episodes drop every Tuesday on all streaming platforms and YouTube. Additionally, you can catch our episodes on Fox Cities Indie Radio every Thursday at 6 and Sunday at 3 p.m. But without further ado, let's dive into today's episode and get to know more about BobCat's journey, his inspirations, and what it's like to be a one-man band on a non-stop tour. BobCat, welcome to the Wisconsin Music Podcast.
Thank you.
So let's just dive into it real quick. And how did music become part of your life?
Well, how did it not become part of my life? I mean, even as a young baby, I would listen to my parents' record collection, and because I didn't know how to use vinyl correctly, I think I posted the scratches on them on their old records from the 50s, 60s, 70s. And there was music I gravitated to, music I didn't so much gravitate to, music I gravitated to later. Music has kind of been, as I guess it's part of you, as part of most people who are interested in this, it's part of your soul. It's part of every aspect of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when did you start learning how to play your guitar?
Well, my first instrument was when I was 4 years old. I learned the mandolin. I learned 4 chords on it. Didn't play it well. I could barely hold it. It was bigger than me at 4 years old. I didn't know how to use a pick. I didn't know how to tune the strings. I just knew the finger positions.
Okay.
On a mandolin, which is tuned in fifths, and it's a soprano instrument. So instead of it being like this, it's like this, and you're playing like really close together. Which for a small kid, my uncle, who Kenny Fink, he has Deep Space Records out in Northern California. He also played in the 80s new wave band Eben Oz.
Okay.
And a longtime family friend, Rom Rosenblum, played in the San Francisco band Trout Fishing in America.
Okay.
So that was when I was 6, 7 years old. I, really 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I was into other things. As a young kid growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, there was video games, there was comic books, there was all these things that, are, a passing fad. I was trying, at that point, I was still trying to do art. Not very successfully. And then at the age of 12, I listened to the Beatles live at the BBC. Now, I knew who the Beatles were because I listened to them pretty intensively when I was straight from like a young kid, like 2, 3, 4 years old. 5, 6. I remember, wearing out my copy of Beatles 6, which is the American album of the songs from Beatles for Sale and Help.
Okay.
Over and over and over again. I remember wearing out my copy of the White Album over and over and over again. Again, I didn't know how to operate, that needle that you put down on the vinyl. You're supposed to. I wasn't so gentle when I placed that that needle the first, you know, 10 years of my life doing that. Only
Yeah.
when, and by the time I was 12 and buying record albums, CDs were a thing, and they stayed nice for a little bit longer. Cassettes stayed nice for a little bit longer. CDs stayed nice for a little bit longer than vinyl. So I was like, you know what? Even back then, I was like, all right, there is vinyls like this, CDs and cassettes are kind of like this in terms of quality. But I'm like, to not have them skip on you is
Yeah.
huge.
Well, each one has its own little issues. CDs will skip too, and tapes will get
Yeah,
stuck, and there's always something.
yeah. That's that's probably why. I mean, right now, in the scene, I myself have vinyl for my band, the Arkhams. I also have CDs of my solo work and of the Arkhams. But people say, hey, let's trade because I'd rather, especially if it's with another band, with another artist, I want to trade with them to, you know, get rather than buy stuff because, as you know, touring musicians, I'm limited in funds.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like trading with other musicians, it's an even swap. Same thing with shirts. This is my buddy James Honeycutt from the Pacific Northwest, from like the Seattle area. We traded a shirt. I didn't. He knows I can't swing $20,
Right.
and I know he can't swing $20 because he's a working musician just like me. Yet we're passionate enough about each other's music that we'll gladly trade. You know what I'm saying? That's how it should be
Right.
done with other musicians.
So you not only are you networking, but you're also helping promote other artists.
Yes, when you have another artist's work on your back, you're you know hopefully if they have like good quality, like some of the bands that I've watched over the years, their music's very high quality, but their merch is very low quality. But I always buy the next level tees of the Gildan, so I know what good quality T-shirts are. And some of the artists I trade with do, some of them don't. Most of them don't. But I'll still sport their shirts over anything else because it's when somebody sees me with a Honeycutt shirt on, James Honeycutt, and I'm in his neck of the woods, Pacific Northwest, oh, they take notice and positive. And then we're talking about his songwriting, his songs, his delivery, everything about his music. And same thing, if I'm in New England and I'm wearing an Imposer shirt or Sasquatch and Sickabilly shirt, we're excited about the music. When I'm in Wisconsin, um, I don't know many bands from Wisconsin, although you know, especially in my niche, and like that punk, rockabilly, psychobilly, I don't know too many. But the goddamn Gallows, their main guy, Mikey, is from Chicago
Mm-hmm.
and from Michigan, so like the two neighboring states. And again, it's cool when someone, when you're walking down the street and they're like, oh shit, I know those guys.
Right. Exactly. Which is a great thing. Now,
Yeah, that's the best thing.
yes, exact, and that's what we're supposed to be doing. Is we're supposed to be out here helping each other, showcase other, educate other people about the music that's out there, not just the stuff that's in the top 50 of whatever Billboard
Right.
chart you want to look at. There's multifacets of many different levels of musicians out there that are doing different things.
Yeah, and one thing I'm learning is, I mean, yes, I like getting in front of the normies. I like, I like at least one show a week, preferably not one of my Thursday to Sunday shows where I have to ask for money or a show where I have to ask for money. But if there's like a normie bar that I can get in front of normies and insult them, make the eardrums bleed, I can convert some of them. But like, it's easier. I know it's easier to convert other music nerds, but it's funny when you got these normies who are just trying to play cool, and they hear me ask them questions.
like what would you say? What would you like ask them? Kind of
Right,
give.
if you're a normie in the audience trying to play cool or trying to talk to some chick, I'd be like, "Hey, you with the Wisconsin podcast T-shirt, hoodie." I'm guessing it's a hoodie because you're in Wisconsin. You're not anywhere where it's sunny. But I'd
We
say, "Hey,
get
you. Are
sun. We
you?
get sun.
I know you get sun. Are you a human being?" Or I would, you know, I just say stuff that I'm like, "What the fuck? Why is he asking this to me?" Or I try to say something to you that made you or look you dead in the face. You know, telling you some crazy shit. Are you a
Right.
human being? Did you burn the lamb at the altar? If you love your neighbor, how could you treat him like so? I mean, it doesn't really. Like, if you love your neighbor, how can you treat him like? Well, what do you mean like so? That's an empty word unless it's in context.
Right. Right.
Like so, how could you treat them like so? Most people take that as like, why you treat them badly? No, I just said like so, or like there's this one part of the set where I purposely botch up the names of the apps. First, I ask them like, so do you put on your record player when you go to sleep? And then before they say anything, I was like, I'll go to the next. Usually, I get the normies in the room. I try to get the normies because normies are more easily offended and more caught off guard than other music buffs. I'll say, hey, you, do you use ClickTalk? Do you use Facebook? Do you use Instagram? Do you get your news on an app called Tweaker? Do you watch movies? I'm sorry. Do you watch video content on Screwlube? Do you conduct searches on Loogie? Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But I fuck up the words. Do you listen to your music on Spotify? It's like Spotify, bot, like, the bots on Spotify that you don't want on your, to mess up your streams.
Right.
I call it botify because it's so funny. When a musician hears it, they get it. Botify. We all get that joke.
Yes.
Probably more so than any of my other botch ups. I'll ask usually the youngest looking chick in the room. I never pick on women more than my age. So like 40. I just turned 42. So I try to go 35 and younger women. I say, hey, who here remembers the 90s? Right? I covered The Way by Fastball, which is my personal favorite song from that decade.
Okay.
And I say, hey, who here remembers the 90s? And it's usually a young, 30 something or 20 something chick in the audience says, oh, me, thinking I'm going to cover something normal. But then I cover The Way, which is the most, arguably the most Beatlesque sounding song of that decade. It's the
Yeah.
most power pop sounding song of that decade. More so than Nirvana's About a Girl, which is probably my close second favorite. But, it's so 60s sounding in a way that, and then, I usually get the youngest, like, I get like women between 30 and 35. That's my sweet spot because they know I'm older. I'm like, oh, not talking about the 1890s, Grandma. Again, it's to mess with their heads. There's a part in the set where it's a very happy sounding song. It's actually about this. It's about see, I'm a big coffee drinker. I don't I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't smoke pot, I don't take drugs. But my one vice of choice, I don't eat sugar anymore. I gave up sugar and I lost more than half my weight. My one vice is caffeine. And it's a song about going into truck stops at 3, 4, this is 4 o'clock by me. So I'll probably go for another one at like 7, 8 o'clock. But I'll go into truck stops. And it's called Invisible Man. But it's like in a major key. And then halfway through the song, after like after an instrumental break and like it's all major key and happy sounding,
Mm-hmm.
I'll cry crocodile tears. I'll dump water on my head. And I'll pretend to cry when I'm like, I'll like pretend like I'm crying, and then like a few seconds in, I'll dump water on my head. Like yesterday, I dumped water, but my head was tilted back, so it went back. So that I dumped the second round of water to get to get the front of my face to make it look like I'm crying crocodile
Yeah.
tears. Again, to a music person, it's nothing they haven't seen before. But to a normie, they go, "What the fuck was that?" And that's why I want to get the normies. I try to on the Monday to Wednesday. If I can't find a good enough open mic, or tonight I'm doing a comedy open mic at Sarah's Place in the Back in Colorado Springs, which is they're doing comedy open mic. I could definitely enjoy comedy open mic. I usually, um, I'm trying to get into one of these like normie bars. It's kind of hard because most normie bars don't want music for the most part. But I insinuate myself or I make myself look bigger than I actually am. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I never email people like I am me. I always introduce myself because most of my time is spent emailing, trying to route my tour. So again, my goal is to have 1 hour drives between shows every night, 2 shows on a Saturday. I want a brewery from like 4 to 7 p.m. and then a rock and roll show, like a club show, that's less than an hour away, but more than a half hour away. So it's kind of in a different market. I'm not like encroaching on my brewery show because some people come out to breweries, some people come out to rock and roll shows.
Right.
Um, some people will come to both. Most people go to neither. But for instance, I'm booked my next double day show. I'm booked at the Red Door in Clovis on Sunday for a Father's Day celebration. And then later on that night, I'm at Uncle Mike's in Portales with my friend Alan Valdez. Now, last time I was in that area, he did that exact same thing. They're like a half hour away. They're like Twin Cities of sort. Like if I know you're from Wisconsin, so you know the Twin Cities. It's not the same market, especially if you're going east east of St. Paul to west of Minneapolis. You're really not playing to the same market.
Right.
It's really two different, and there's no way any venue will think, "Oh, he's just doubling down." Like, no, not doubling down. I'm trying to hit multiple markets. And of course, the first one I have to book and secure is that brewery gig because that's my money.
Right.
That might be my whole paycheck for the entire week, with every day having 6 to 8 hour drives. I may have. There's some dates when I wake up and the venue that I've been promoting, not at because I'm not going to go there. Before my show, I'm not going to drive out of the way because try to do different shows, different areas, different days of the week. But you know, when it's 2 weeks before a show, I repost about that show every single day in either my stories, my lives, my feed, mostly on Instagram because I realize that's where most of my friends hang out. But I'll do a little bit on Facebook. I'll do a little bit on TikTok. Again, it's like, who are the demographics? The Facebook is for 40 plus people. The TikTok is for under 30. My demographic 42. Of my grade in high school, there was like 600 kids in my grade, and there you go. Um, there was about 600 kids in my grade. All right, we're all either 41 or 42. Um, for my grade on Instagram, there's about 310, 315 MacArthur kids from my grade. Now, and on Facebook, there's about upper 200s, I think like 260, 265 out of the 600 kids in my class. And
That's a lot.
we'll always update each other on like chat rooms and stuff and see. But, and again, less on Facebook. Now you go one grade higher, so class is 99. and one of my best friends graduated that year. It's flipped. His grade had a little under 600 people. My grade was bigger than his. Little under 600 people. Most are on Facebook. Class of '98. A bunch of my really, really good friends are, from that class. Same thing. More on Facebook than on Instagram. The class younger than me, double the amount on Instagram than on Facebook, but almost none of us use TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I use it, but really, I don't interact on it as much as I interact on Instagram. Instagram, I'm like constantly interacting with someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, Wisconsin Music Podcast listeners. Are you looking to elevate your music with a personal touch? Let me introduce you to ZTF Studio, where your sound finds its true home. At ZTF Studio, we create more than just great recordings. We create an experience. Our cozy, home-based studio in Southeast Wisconsin is designed to make you feel comfortable and inspired. Imagine walking into a space where your music is treated with the same care and passion you put into it. With over 20 years of experience, we know how to bring out the best in your sound. Whether you're a solo artist or a full band, you'll get personalized attention and expert guidance every step of the way. We blend technical expertise with a warm, welcoming vibe to make your recording sessions enjoyable and productive. So, come on in, grab a cup of coffee, and let's make your next crowd pleaser together. Visit ztfstudio.com to book a conversation with Zach about your vision for your next project. ZTF Studio, where your sound feels at home. Now, back to our amazing guest.
For those that are listening in on this, what would your best advice be for people that are basically trying to do what you're doing, which is basically being a tour musician with a very low budget, and what are some of the survival skills?
Okay, first survival skill. Your Fridays and Saturdays are dear. Your Mondays and Wednesdays are your gambling cards. Think of like a chessboard. Your Fridays and Saturdays are your kings and queens. Your Monday through Wednesday are your pawns. Your holidays, like your Mother's Day, Father's Day, are your kings and, can double as your kings and queens, negotiating wise. If you're a solo musician, I recommend solo musicians because this is what I ask for, and I normally get, and most places want covers. Figure out the covers that you play, like Father's Day, obviously. That's your, and everything else is like your rogues, your knights, your bishops. The Thursdays and Sundays, where it could be valuable, more times than not, they're not. Your Thanksgiving Eve is like your king and queen. Your Thanksgiving night, the Thursday of Thanksgiving, is your Monday and Wednesday, Monday through Wednesday. Your St. Patrick's Day, which this year was a Sunday, is like your king and queen. Treat it like so. Get that St. Patrick's Day money. Get that, 300 plus. Your Easter Sunday is like a Monday, and I actually did really well on Easter Sunday because I played at Blind Bob's in Dayton, Ohio, one of the best gigs, with Andy Rush, who is a killer. If you want to hear what jazz sounds like in 2023, like good jazz, listen to Andy Rush. And we did a gig together on Easter Sunday, and we played in front of a better audience than at least half the shows on tour. Let me see. All right, so I asked 200 on weeknights, and there's negotiating room, and 300 on weekends. Again, there's negotiating room provided I'm able to double it up, meaning early show, late show not too far away. And I'll always tell the early show, I'm like, all right, or I'll tell the late show. For instance, there was this one Saturday in February, the end of February, where I had an early show at NCOM in Norman, Oklahoma, and a late show at Lost Highway Bar in Oklahoma City. They're half-hour removed, so the distance is perfect. And the owner of NCOM is this guy, Christoph. He plays in this band 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Very good friends with my band, the Arkhams, over the years. So when I booked it, I originally, like I said, I send out a bunch of emails every day. Hi, I'll read you what my template is. You guys can all nick this from me because I'd be very proud if I see this nicked. This ain't my trademark. Hi, so and so. Hi, Zach. I am the tour manager for BobCat One Man Band, parentheses rockabilly comedy solo act on tour from New York. We will be in your area on say Thursday, July 18th, Friday, July 19th. So I put a less important day and a more important day. If they say we only have music on Friday nights, okay, well, Friday night I got asked 300. Thursday would be 200. Which one works? Half the time, I'm more than happy to take the Thursday at 200, especially if it's within route to my next gig.
Gotcha.
Of course, I try to fill the Friday first because that Thursday there's more of a chance of mic night, of another show where I'm not like wondering if I'm gonna see it. I always give a prime date and a less than prime date. I always go Saturday, Sunday first. So I go prime, not prime. So they see Saturday first. Saturday, Sunday. I try to get that Sunday filled, but I know the Saturday is more likely to be filled. Then I go Thursday, Friday, because they're, prime, not as prime. Then as I backfill the week, so say now I have the Saturday, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday filled, I say Thursday, which is, it's not now Monday through Wednesday, but it's not Friday, Saturday. Then I try to fill Wednesday, Thursday. Then once the Wednesday, Thursday fill in, I try to fill Tuesday, Wednesday. Once the Wednesday fills, it's more likely that's going to fill. I go Monday, Tuesday. So you see how I do one area per week. So for instance, this week I'm in Colorado. And did I do a perfect job on Colorado? No, because my weeks go Monday to Sunday. So, Saturday, Sunday, so you see how I like do it. I work backwards. So Saturday, Sunday off the first, so they see the Saturday first and they see a Sunday. Prime day, not as prime day.
Right.
And then I just work backwards. Now, this week, Sunday, June 16th, I'm in New Mexico, which is not Colorado, but it's one state over. And one of them's got a guarantee. The other one is going to be a great show with Alan Valdez. If you guys haven't listened to him, check him out. He's like a Americana jazz guitar player. He's one of the best ones around today. So playing two shows that day. One of them's got a guarantee. One of them's just a rock and roll show that we split the door. Saturday the 15th, I'm at Crafty Canary Brewery in Walsenburg, which is south, which is, exit 50 on I-25 in Colorado, so you're close to the New Mexico border. So after that show, 10 p.m. Saturday night, I go to sleep at like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I can do more than half my drive down to Clovis. I got to go on at 11 a.m., meaning I got to be there at 10 a.m. to set up, because I travel with a PA system, and I'm going to get a lighting rig. I'm going to get that illuminator hopefully this week, because I got a few good shows this week. The 14th, that's this 14th, I'm at Tommy Knocker Tavern, Creed, Colorado. It's southern Colorado, in the mountains, in the Rockies. It's not close to anything else, so of course take it. Then tomorrow night, I'm at Wood Cellar in Evergreen. That's among my favorite Colorado gigs. They are incredible to work. I played there last year once, probably one of my best gigs in June. Tonight, I'm doing a comedy open mic at Sarah's Place in the Back. Last night, couldn't find anything, so I just hung out. Again, Sarah's Place in the Back. That's my new favorite spot for Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs has everything that I need as a traveling musician, meaning a truck stop, which is where I just was getting my coffee, I still am. Planet Fitness, which is where I shower and work out. They got like good, a good supermarket. They got a Safeway here, which is Wisconsin. What do you have in Wisconsin? You got Hy-Vee in Wisconsin, right?
Quick Trip and things of that nature. Yeah. Flying J.
Oh yeah, no, Quick Trip and Flying J, especially the Wisconsin Quick Trip. So I'm saying like the Safeway is a supermarket, so I can get good quality foods.
Yeah. So yeah, we have like Pick and Save, and that's like usually the major one is that and Woodman's.
Right. So not ideally Trader Joe's, but I realize you got to be in like a Denver, a New York City, Philadelphia to get Trader Joe's, which is
we have
the
one
best.
in. Yeah, we have like one in Milwaukee, I believe. Like, yeah, over where our where the Milwaukee Zoo is, there's a Trader Joe's over there.
Ah, okay.
If you notice by now, things have changed and they're not the way they used to be. Yes, things are different. I know it's hard to see. Things changed in you. Yes, they changed in me. Take a look out your door. See the kids in the street. They aren't there no more. Yes, something's changed. Everyone has gone away. Things have changed today. You say it's now or never. Don't try to make it last. Always seems like something's changed when you don't react.
we've got about 5 minutes left. So let's kind of talk a little bit about the shows you have coming up in Wisconsin.
The week of Monday, October 7th through Sunday, October 13th. But again, I'm not fully booked. I got the 9th with my friends Grounded Patio Cafe in La Crosse. Excellent venue. I play acoustic there mostly. They're mellower, but
Yeah.
the girl booking there knows what she's getting into. She knows that I'm probably going to, make people feel uncomfortable with my questions to them, and she was okay with it. She knows I'm probably going to, I'm a little bit gnarlier than your average coffee house guy. And I realize that the coffee houses I generally don't do good at because of the nature of it.
Yeah.
Then Friday the 11th, I'm in Milwaukee, so I'm probably going to try to find something on the 10th in Madison, or what's the other one? Appleton, Green
Yeah.
Bay.
Fox Cities, all that. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Fox City.
Fox City. I got to look that up. But yeah, that area, Appleton, Green Bay. I played in, there was another place in Oshkosh I played last summer.
Okay.
Again, it was a coffee shop in Oshkosh, but they were great. And they had a good time, so I'm probably going to play there on the 10th, either the 8th or the 10th. And then the 11th, I'm in Milwaukee. Now, the 12th, I'm right at the border in Rochester, Minnesota, only because Taco Jed that's my only date I can get into Taco Jed. But the 13th, I got booked North Dakota, so I'm not even in Wisconsin that full week.
You are a busy man, going from place to different place almost every night.
I try 10 shows a week is my goal.
Wow. So
I'll achieve it. I'll achieve it. My goal is to be at that 10 shows a week every week with less than 1 hour travel time, more than a half hour, less than 1 hour travel time by the beginning of next year.
sounds like you're on the correct path for that, because you seem to be very dedicated to make sure, and very determined to make sure that you are, and organized. I mean, you have to be completely organized to even try to attempt something like that.
I owned a taxi company on Long Island, New York for 10 years. You ready to hear its name? Because you're going to laugh.
Okay.
Long Island Taxi and Airport Service. No, that's how you pronounce it.
Wow.
You have to say it like a pirate. Because every day at that company, I'd answer the phone like a pirate.
That's awesome. Well, Bobcat, we got 90 seconds. What's the last thing you'd like the listeners to know?
I release songs every 4 to 6 weeks on my Spotify. New videos every single day on my YouTube. YouTube is BobCat One Man Band. My Spotify is just BobCat, and you'll see an icon that's kind of like this. Notice how this guy can't smile on both sides, kind of like me.
Gotcha.
I release music. I also play in a band called the Arkhams. With New York City, now Kingston-based, like psychobilly. I'm going to be doing collaboration with Bobby Edge. You got to listen to his music. It's amazing. Go listen to Bobby Edge. Go listen to this guy, James Honeycutt. Check out Moonrunners. Check out Muddy Roots Fest. Those are two probably the best festivals going on. And again, we can grow. And any Wisconsin-based band, reach out to me. I want to do shows with you because I want to meet all the high-quality Wisconsin bands. I don't mean just like the cover bands. I mean like the original bands, the Outcasts,
Gotcha.
the Misfits.
Awesome. Well, Bobcat, thank you so much for being on the Wisconsin Music Podcast. It was a pleasure meeting you and hearing.
Me.
And yeah, definitely, and great stories. And I'll let you know when this goes live.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the Wisconsin Music Podcast. Once again, I'm Zach Fell, your host and creator of the Wisconsin Music Podcast, where I love to amplify the great sounds coming out of the Wisconsin state. We have great talent here, great support, great listeners. Thanks to Fox Cities Indie Radio for syndicating this on Thursdays and Sundays, along with their other great programming. So make sure you check out the Fox Cities Indie Radio. Thanks to this week's guest, BobCat, the One Man Band, for being on the Wisconsin Music Podcast. He's going to be in our area in October, so go check out his performances coming up in the area. For those of you who are new to our show, the Wisconsin Music Podcast is dedicated to showcasing the incredible talent of Wisconsin-based musicians and the thriving local music community. Our episodes drop every Tuesday on all streaming platforms and YouTube. Additionally, you can catch our episodes on Fox Cities Indie Radio every Thursday at 6 p.m. and Sunday at 3 p.m. If you'd like to be on the show, just go to wisconsinmusicpodcast.com, fill out the guest request form up at the top, ask for your email and your name, and then I'll send you an auto email asking you for more information. If you are enjoying these episodes, please consider donating to the Wisconsin Music Podcast. Donations help pay for the website and putting the podcast up on streaming services, and also getting our name out there to all Wisconsinites and others that are interested in our great music here in Wisconsin. Donations are secured through PayPal and Stripe. All you have to do is go to the website and click on Donate to WMP. You can also head over to our Instagram and Facebook pages and like us there. Leave some comments. Also go to the podcast review section of your podcast player and leave a 5-star review. Would be great. You can also head over to YouTube and watch the interviews and leave comments there as well. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week with another fantastic episode on the Wisconsin Music Podcast.